It's so hard to open my eyes. I'm blind to the light from the sky. I'm dealing with things I can't write. And all of you know it's been no easy road, but I keep working harder, going harder just to prove something. Burning out, I can't do shit for weeks. Guess I proved nothing. Everybody wants my work for free. I know you have the money, things are looking different. I'm not putting up with you, not anymore. And I know you think you still can take advantage, and you always took my humbleness for granted. But I know my worth, you can't take that away from me. And I know you think you still can take advantage, but it hasn't worked out like you fucking planned it. 'Cause I know my worth, you can't take that away from me.
So hello everyone, welcome to Barca Twins and Kounde. Welcome to a new live stream with all our favorite Almighty Blues FC's Ankit Bhai. So after many days he has joined our channel and it's our first time meeting him, and he will be there to talk about all the transfers about Chelsea. He's the main man discussing about this topic every time. So Ankit Bhai, thanks a lot for coming to our channel. Thanks a lot. It's
totally my pleasure. It's totally my pleasure. Definitely, we have been in touch for a long time.
Yes.
It has been pending, but you know what? Always love to talk football, and of course, with the season coming so close, with the transfer window getting even more interesting, it makes it even better.
So just like today I was going through all the news, football news, everything, and suddenly I found that Chelsea are now back on track on transfers. Like they are making the good transfers.
Not yet.
Yeah, not yet, but at least they have come to the track, right? And before they tried to do some transfers, and you know what Barcelona have done. So anyways, this happens in football every time, so no problem, no issues. But you know, Chelsea is the club with a lot, sorry, actually, wait.
No problem. I think we can hear you fine.
Yeah, wait. Yeah, so I was saying that Chelsea are the team with a huge fan base, and you know, with huge fan base comes a lot of responsibilities, and already the Roman Abramovich, the era is completed now. Todd Boehly, the new owner is here, so a new era will begin. Obviously, it will take time to come to, you know, that like how they used to play, because 2020 they won the UCL, so we know that. But again, you know, every team takes time to come back to on the track. Like even Barcelona, 2015 was our last UCL. But you know, now I think now we are coming back to the shape, and maybe this season we can do something, not a title, but to come back to the track. So
yeah, definitely.
What do you have to say about this topic, right? Because
you know what, you said it brilliantly, because I think it's about the transition. Like Chelsea, definitely while we were in transition season, you know, we did madness. We won the Champions League. But Barcelona were in a transition season whole of last season. So last season what happened is, like, Barcelona, meanwhile, what they did is, under the radar, they have made a few signings in January. Those January signings kind of got that confidence, that game style that Xavi wanted. And you can see that this time with the next level that they've gone to, not just hijack the transfers, but they've actually got the players that, you know, they wanted and the players wanted them. So it's like a win-win. A lot of risk, of course, with the levers activated and stuff like that. So with that comes high pressure. But Barca, Xavi defined when he came to Barca, that was the first thing that he said. That basically we are here to win, and basically, you know, that is got to be, you know, the ambition of any Barca player. And I think that was against Bayern Munich, if I remember right, that you guys, you know, were playing Bayern Munich, and half time he said that. So that clearly shows that the ambition is there with Laporta as well, whatever he said. So I can see you can never, you know, you can do what Chelsea did. You never know. But I have actually gone with my predictions. I don't know if you got a chance to see my Barca, you know, season predictions. In my opinion, Barca has to win the league because of that, you know, economic levers activated. And not just that, on paper, last season already they had a good first team.
Yeah.
Now they have a better first team and a backup. Yes, you can argue that you might just need fullbacks, which is not ideal.
Yeah, fullback issue is there.
But again, in preseason, I know it's just preseason, Araujo has shown that he's brilliant. Jordi Alba on his day is still good.
Araujo was lethal in the right back position. Actually, he surprised us mainly. Even Xavi was surprised. Xavi, you know, he's impressed by the works of Araujo in the right back position, because we were thinking, right, if Dest gets injured and only one replacement, no replacement actually in the right back position after Dani Alves left the club. So
Correct.
we were worried, but now Araujo, he's giving his best in that position, and we know that run versus Antonio Rudiger. That is the moment when, seriously, when I was watching the match, I felt that something realistic is happening in that position with Araujo. And now after Jules Kounde came, now I think we are more stable in that position in case we don't sign Azpilicueta or Marcos Alonso.
Absolutely. You know what? The fact that Jules Kounde can play there, and actually, even to let you know, even I know this is a little bit left field, but for Denmark, Christensen actually has played right back. I'm just letting
Denmark.
you know. In Chelsea, Thomas Tuchel did not try him there, and I know he's not mobile. He's not great in the right centre back
Yes.
either. In the back
Because
three,
at
but in
the end of
centre
last
a back
year's
three-
season, Christensen was more vulnerable. We have seen that. He made one miss pass to Edouard Mendy. I still remember maybe one miss pass. That one, yeah. But now Christensen, one fact is that Christensen got the most play time in the preseason. So
Correct.
I think Xavi is looking upon him.
Xavi is definitely depending on Christensen. See, one thing I'll tell about Christensen, being a Chelsea fan and having watched him from his academy days,
You have more
right?
experience actually.
See, Christensen is a player who needs like a leader beside him. Like for me, that's the one reason why Chelsea fans are not really loving him as much as what he probably deserved.
Yeah.
Because in the end, what happened is like the way Thiago Silva has kind of built his career towards the end, elevated his career. I don't think he's given back to Chelsea. But in Barcelona, who's going to be that? So I was thinking if Christensen plays, he plays next to PK. But the fact that now Kounde has come, so
Yes.
two young centre backs, and Kounde also, like I don't know if you followed my channel, I've always said that Kounde has probably a higher ceiling than a Christensen. He'll become a better player overall
Yes.
because he has more to his game. He is quick as well. But problem is that right now, I would rather pick a Christensen over Kounde, and I'll be very honest because some basic errors that Kounde makes in games, like you must have watched a lot of games in Sevilla or in France, right?
Yes,
He's
yes,
made
yes.
those basic errors, or he's a little bit rash as well at times.
That
you know,
only.
because Diego Carlos he played, maybe you can
Yeah.
argue that that's why he's got that bad habit a little bit. But I think Christensen, he may miss that leader next to him. That's the only thing that I'm questioning because sometimes his mind, his focus goes off track.
Like, see, I think if you compare the state of mind of the players like Kounde and Araujo, they are almost balanced because you can see, right, their state of mind is not stable. Sometimes they get angry and sometimes they, like every sports person, they should not be angry at the game because it will just deteriorate their game. But always in the defense, one experienced player should be there. As you see in the case of Chelsea also, Thiago Silva is playing. And Thiago Silva with lots of clearing experience, and he has played in lots of great clubs, and even in PSG also he was at his best.
Like there's a calmness, right? He brings a level of
that only.
calmness.
And Gerard Piqué is the
Maybe
player who
PK
provides us with that. thing.
I'm with you on that because yes, Kounde is brilliant, but I genuinely feel that Kounde is more like one for the future, or rather not future. I would say
Yeah.
like usko 6 months, at least 6 months he needs to kind of get the gel with
That
the
only.
team,
He
the way
needs
the
time,
Xavi
actually.
plays.
But how
Exactly.
Christensen adapted to our system, that is mind blowing. Christensen just
But Christensen, to be honest, yes, you can argue that he played three at the back in Borussia Mönchengladbach when he was loaned
Yes,
2 years.
yes.
He played three at the back under Conte. He played three at the back right now as well under Tuchel. But with Denmark, he's always played more or less four at the back. Like
Yeah,
I said,
four
he
in the
can
back.
play four at the back with Simon Kjær. Actually, I would argue that he was the better centre half in Euros. So I would say that Christensen, on his day, like again, he's a brilliant player. But the problem is that it's the other way around, like an Araujo or maybe a Kounde are too, as in fiery. Christensen almost goes under the radar. He gets he's too, he's not, he doesn't express himself.
yes,
So
yes.
you have to kind of express yourself on the pitch more. You have to be more vocal. He's not that.
Just but I want to ask you one question, okay? Suppose see Chelsea, Christensen was more, he played in the back three. Chelsea almost they play in the back three only, but in Barca the style is fully different, right? Always they go for back four. But something is telling us that this season Xavi may go for a back three because now we have centre back options. So what do you think? In Barcelona, will the three in the back will work?
Yeah, you have a point because technically Eric Garcia is also in the waiting. We haven't
Yeah,
spoken
Eric
about
Garcia is
him.
also there.
There are like five centre halves, but I still feel the way that Araujo has been used in pre-season, you might go back four because why would you fix something which ain't broke? You made a lot of changes in midfield and
Yes,
striking options, so
Midfield
maybe
we
you
have
have
a lot
an
of options
excuse.
now. Same as Chelsea.
But
Chelsea also have a lot of midfield options now.
correct. Lot of options. So Barca, like Chelsea, also have to kind of release players. A
There
lot of
only.
talks are going on right now.
And
We know
yesterday,
that.
I was streaming. I said one statement continuously. If you have to register player, you have to, release some players. And
Correct. I
Barcelona
think
need to do that.
Depay and Frenkie looks like those
Yeah,
two will
Depay
be
and
going.
Frenkie, that is only thing. See, why I just feel both will go to Chelsea. Something is telling me because see, both are
You're right.
Netherlands friends. Okay, they both play for
Correct.
Netherlands. Something is telling both will negotiate with the same club, and maybe because I don't think Frenkie will go to Manchester United. His UCL priority is there, and even I don't think Depay will make another comeback to Manchester United because he has already played over there. So
Very
maybe
good point.
Chelsea is the option, and Chelsea is the team who need I think a proper midfielder like Frenkie de Jong. Frenkie de Jong is a very good versatile player, and
See,
even Memphis Depay also.
correct. See, with Frenkie, I would like to slightly not agree there because the fact is like we don't really need that player because we have a lot of midfielders, like you already
Yeah.
said. We have a lot of midfielders, but when you have an opportunity like signing a Frenkie, who can replace your
Yes,
or
yes.
rather upgrade your Jorginho in the future, why not take him?
Yeah.
He's just what
It is
24,
not that
25, if I'm
Frenkie is
not
even
wrong.
30 years and above. It is not that also.
Yeah, so that is one more thing that I feel that Chelsea might get tempted for it. And the fact that, like you said, Barcelona and Bayern Munich have been hijacking our transfer,
Yeah.
targets. Well, it's a bit of both. Even we have. I'm not lying, but at the
Yeah.
same time, not many people are kind of coming at the right price. I know Frankie is also not at the right price, but like you said, like the fact that if he gets maybe a Depay along, and we actually need a striker. Yes, we have a
Yes.
Broya, young
Because
striker,
Timo
but
Werner is also linked with some of the clubs like
and a
Leipzig and
Timo
Red
Werner
Bull.
kind of player, Depay in world football, I have to say today,
Yeah.
Depay is the closest to a Timo Werner in
Yes,
world
yes,
football.
closest. Because both players create and score goals. That is the main thing. They are not
They
that just
create
they are
space.
standing on the box and
Correct.
just scoring goals.
They create space, so they are like
Yes.
those players who are like your outside forward. So yeah, we need a proper striker. Ideally, we would need a CR7, but he doesn't play Tuchel's style, right? So Depay might fit Tuchel's style because you have that almost like a false nine position, like a Havertz being a tall guy, and then you have this Depay next to him who might be doing the job. Problem with Werner was he wasn't finishing much. Depay also is not a great finisher, being a
Not
Dutch
only,
fan
not
as
a
well,
great
man. I'm
finisher.
following Dutch football, right?
Yeah.
So I feel that Depay is not that element what he probably promised, but he will be certainly an upgrade to finishing than Werner.
Yes.
Certain aspect Werner is still better, but I would say Frenkie and Depay, if they come for about 85 million, I will take them if I
Yeah.
was a Chelsea owner.
Yes, yes. But see, given the fact you signed Depay, okay, and you go for a formation 3-5-2, okay, like two in the forward. So and you have also signed Sterling, and in Man City we have seen Sterling playing mainly on the wings, okay, and sometimes he played in the false nine. So what do you think? Will a Depay and Sterling pairing will work? Given the fact Mason Mount is pushed back to the midfield, will it work?
I think again it can work, but again if you're saying Mason Mount pushing to the midfield, then I'm wondering where would De Jong play? Maybe we can start only one of De Jong or Depay. And
Yes.
that's a bad thing for both. Both are Dutch friends probably, but that's a
Like
bad thing.
I don't think without
To be honest, I
Kante,
don't
Chelsea will
see
move
Depay
on.
coming
Okay,
as a starter.
Kante will be the regular starter, surely.
Kante is yeah, when he's fit, yes, but problem is he's not 100% fit from the last
Not
season.
only.
When he's fit, he will start. I think more than Kante, I would say the first name on the team sheet today, even anyone in the team sheet, I would say probably I'll put Mason Mount, Kovacic, and Thiago Silva as the first names on the team sheet today. If you ask me, as a Chelsea fan, right?
Yeah.
Kovacic is really underrated. He's had a
Yes,
brilliant season
Kovacic
in the
is
half.
really underrated.
So he has to be the first name on the team sheet. So that's why I'm saying, like, if you have them already,
See,
Depay coming
yeah.
as Mason Mount,
Yeah.
I don't see a De Jong and a Depay playing. It can be one or the other, because either we will kind of, as in crowded midfield,
Yes.
or up front, you cannot not play Havertz. Havertz starts ahead of Depay.
Yeah. But Havertz also, like he is there to create sometimes maybe on that side. Mostly he plays on the right flank. So
No, actually he doesn't. So that's the thing. With Germany, with
yeah,
Germany, he plays on the right hand flank, but for Chelsea, he plays as a number nine. He plays as a false nine or number nine, you can say. We have basically a case where in pre-season I saw Chelsea went 3-4-1-2.
yes,
In that 3-4-1-2, like a 3-5-2 almost, like we miss him out, like you said, behind. So where yes, he was kind of that rightish center forward, But if you actually see, Havertz is the main guy up top. So Havertz will stay.
Yeah,
What will
up
happen is
top, Havertz
they'll
is
rotate
always
between
there.
Sterling and Mount.
Yeah, Sterling and Mount. So, like you have another player, you have signed Conor Gallagher. Do you see him in the start? Do you see him in the starting 11? Gallagher.
Not really. I'm really a Gallagher fan. He is probably the Mason Mount part two
Yeah.
potentially. I'm not saying right now, but his traits are very similar to Mason Mount. In fact, you can argue that he's better than Mason Mount in some traits. Like probably he has a very good shot on him. Mason Mount also has, but I think Gallagher probably can improve more. I
Yes.
see a higher ceiling, and he's a destroyer like a Kante. Mason Mount is a brilliant
Yeah, yeah,
tackler,
yeah.
but Gallagher is a brilliant tackler. Who presses up front. Plus, he's a destroyer. He destroys the game of play, which is something that Mason Mount also does not do. So he does something really well, but that level of quality that we're talking, Crystal Palace to Chelsea, is different.
Yes.
So we'll give him time. Kovacic, Jorginho, Kante over
Yeah.
Gallagher right now.
Jorginho is very good, but I think Jorginho, in a way, we should compare him with Pjanic of Barcelona. Uh,
Yeah, you're right.
anyways, they are very good with the ball. They are like professionalism. We have to talk about that also. But as we are talking about the midfield, okay, you have signed a new player, Carne. So now with this many midfield options with Loftus-Cheek, last season he was very good. Loftus-Cheek, when he comes to the field, it feels very good. And even in the cup matches also, he played very good. He was starting in the cup matches also. So given the fact you said about Gallagher, maybe he will not start now. So at the like in the mid season or maybe at the end of the season he might start. Even the cup matches also. So now it is good. We should keep always like midfield options. Everywhere options should be there. So injuries is the another fact, as you have already said about Kante. Kante is not 100% fit all the time. So that only. And so Barcelona also we are seeing the midfield. We are packed up with midfield. Even one player signed for the B team. He will also play in the like Pablo Torre. He will play in
Yeah,
the
he's,
first
he's
team.
he's very good actually. Pablo
Yeah,
Torre
Pablo
can,
Torre.
because the fact that now Ricky Puig is going to US,
Yes.
maybe Pablo Torre might be, as in promoted, and the fact that De Jong might leave. Remember,
Yeah.
so Pablo Torre might get some minutes in my opinion, and he's impressed. So similarly for us, as in Chukwuemeke has come, definitely Carney Chukwuemeke is not a bad player at all. I'm a little bit concerned. What about Gilmore? Gilmore has gone back in terms of where he was. Like he was supposed to be the Scottish Scholes, like we used to call him.
Yes.
But I don't think he's up there. Barkley, we are still having. He might
Yeah,
have to
Barkley.
go. Ruben Loftus-Cheek, as much as I would love to see him in midfield as a backup, but he's not done enough. He's not done enough. I think, yeah, you said it right. He did well in the cup games,
Yes.
but when it comes to week in, week out football, he's not that footballer to rely upon. Plus, Tuchel sees him as a right wing back for whatever strange reason. So he's like a backup for maybe a Reece James at best at right
Yeah.
wing back. I don't see him as a midfield option in
And
this season.
so there is a question in the chat. What about
Mm-hmm.
Lukaku? Do you see him back in Chelsea?
I wish I never do. I have called it on my live stream that I hope I never see him in, wear a Chelsea shirt, because the things that he said, and even now that he's continuously doing that,
Yeah.
I don't think Chelsea need to forgive him anytime soon.
Then
I know he'll be back, or I think there's a thing that I've read about on Twitter. A lot of as in tier one journalists have said that there is actually an agreement in place in terms of principal agreement is there, where
Yeah.
the loan will be extended by one more year next season.
I think they should do it because until and unless Lukaku have a good mindset about Chelsea, he should not return actually.
Correct. He doesn't have a good mindset or anywhere close
Yeah.
about Chelsea. So
No, he
why
actually when he
leave this?
came back, he said, "Yeah, my childhood club, this and that." But I don't see, like
Yeah,
it was
give him an Oscar. Give him an
done only.
Oscar.
And there is another statement that Frenkie is a great addition for any top club, finding replacement of their current star midfielders. And Chelsea don't need Frenkie, okay, as Jorginho and Kante has more years in Chelsea.
Yeah, so that's the thing, right? So see, Tuchel, it's a very brilliant comment, I must say. See, Tuchel, the way he plays, right?
Yeah,
Like you can almost argue, yes, he makes a lot of changes. It's very difficult to guess his starting 11.
yes,
But he wants to keep the structure. He doesn't change the structure as much. So that is something that Kante, like with Chelsea, if you're watching, if you're a Chelsea fan, if you're an EPL fan generally, right, you will be able to tell which is the next pass.
Yeah.
I know that's not ideal for any footballing team,
Then
but at Chelsea it kind of works for them. As in that's the thing, their perfection kind of works
it
for
looks
them.
like they have a fixed pattern, of doing any attack.
Yeah,
Like
exactly.
there
So
is
with
Havertz
Jorginho
linking from
especially,
top, and then they play like that.
yeah, and it flows through Jorginho. Like people feel that he just gets you side passes, short
Yeah,
passes,
Jorginho is
but I
connecting
think
everywhere.
he's the connector for you.
Yes.
So Jorginho is crucial for that. Frenkie de Jong, for him to get that, I see him a lot in Dutch team because again following the Dutch team very closely, I'm a fan as
Yeah.
well. So for me, Frenkie de Jong to get that will take some level. I actually see Frenkie de Jong if he comes in the right central midfielder position, like maybe what a Kante does, more of a box to box, right? I'm
Yes,
seeing
yes.
him that
Kante is
position.
like that only.
Yeah.
And like suppose Azpilicueta comes to Barcelona. So see, Azpilicueta always he plays as a centre back in Chelsea also, and sometime in the wing back. So given the fact you have Antonio Rudiger has left the club, Christensen left the club. Now you have like star defenders like Chalobah. Like he is not that kind of player who should start every match. So star defenders, if you see Koulibaly is there and Thiago Silva obviously.
Yeah,
So
that's it.
who do you think is should be the third person?
So that's why if I was Tuchel and Boli, I wouldn't have even thought about selling Azpilicueta. I think
Yeah.
that's not just because he's a captain, leader, legend. He's basically
Yes.
won more different trophies than John Terry. That says a
That
lot.
only.
The guys, and I know that people overplay about the age factor and him being slow. Yes, he has become slow, but Azpilicueta never depended on his age as much.
That
Sorry, his
only.
pace as much. He was never a player who was a super fast player. He was pretty fast, but never a super fast player. Also, you said it right. Like Aspilicueta plays more in a right centre back or a right wing back position for Chelsea. Right back, if you see even his Chelsea career, there has hardly been a complete season where Aspilicueta has played as the right back in a back four.
Yeah.
So even in the back four, the best season that he had was in a left back position under Jose Mourinho. It was back in the day, of course.
Even though,
Again, I
even
don't
the
see him as a
yeah.
right back.
Yes, yes. Even the Aspilicueta starts in the centre back position. There is a shifting of position between Rich James and Aspilicueta on the right flank.
Right.
And even Aspilicueta comes interior and do those crosses also. He's good. He has good finishing ability. We have seen that. But
Yeah, I think brilliant point. So I think his crossing
yeah,
and the fact that he gets the striker on the cross, that's something known. He had a
yes,
relation with Morata, he had a relation with Lukaku,
Lukaku,
ironically.
definitely.
But I think one aspect that people forget about Aspilicueta, in terms of defense, one is he's a very good one-on-one defender.
Yeah, one on one.
Second thing
Yeah,
is in terms of defending crosses. For his height, you would not expect him to be good, but he's actually better than even Reece James in that aspect. So that is something that we, as a team, we are very bad in defending set pieces.
yes.
For me, Thiago Silva is brilliant in defending set pieces, and the fact that Rudiger is not there, Koulibaly of course is come, but I would want an Aspilicueta for those crosses coming from the right hand side. So
Definitely.
Reece James is a little bit susceptible for that.
Yes. And Aspilicueta, obviously, he provides those most number of passes, right? Given the fact he's a Spaniard, he's a Spanish player, and even he's very good with the passing as well. And now one question is there on the chat: what about Barca hijacking their deal?
See, as in, you never know. Cucurella has already said that he might want to basically play for Barca one day again.
Yeah, one
That
day
is
again.
something
Yeah,
that I've heard of. See, as in, if I say purely hijack, I think apart, even Rafinha, to be very honest about it, yes, technically you can say that at some stage you hijack, but initially Rafinha agreed terms with Barca. So I think
definitely.
Chelsea tried to
He only
hijack
said.
that,
He only
and
said.
then yeah, exactly,
And
and
even
then
Deco
Barca
is the agent,
hijacked.
so we can understand. No, Deco is the agent. Obviously, he will try with Barca only. And but
Not, no, not
I
it's
would
not as
say,
obvious. It's not as obvious. I disagree there. It's not as obvious because I think it also depends on your role in the team. It depends on a lot of other factors. Like
yeah,
it's a World Cup year. Let's not forget that.
yeah,
So I
World
was a
Cup
little
year,
bit
that only.
surprised. I was a little bit surprised the fact that Dembele is probably going to be there, which was eventually the case.
Yeah.
Dembele is there, but Rafinha is also there. So yes, but pre-season he's been so good, Rafinha, that I think I see
Yes,
him as a
Rafinha
starter
was so
right
good.
now.
And the first
But
free kick he took with Barcelona, that was seriously very nice.
yeah, and he's good. Leeds, I have seen him enough. Definitely, he's very good. But with Dembele showing the form that he was in the last part of the season, I thought
Yes.
Dembele might start. Now, only thing is Dembele he can be an impact sub more than a Rafinha. Put it that way. So maybe yeah, that's what you will go. But for me, that was a risk that Rafinha took.
Yeah.
But again, you have to give credit to Rafinha that he took that risk.
But in that the recent preseason match against New York Red Bulls, it looked like that Rafinha was starting in the left wing and Dembele was in the right wing. Okay, so it looked like in a way that he was continuously crossing it to Lewandowski. Maybe he was trying to give him the first goal in the preseason. Anyways, those things are there. But if you see on the tactical basis, there are many reports that Xavi will go for Dembele, Rafinha, and Lewandowski up top. Okay, and given the fact if Memphis Depay leaves, so will that be a good pairing? What do you think?
I don't think so. I don't think so. I feel that Rafinha and Dembele kind of will replace each other. I don't see them
Definitely.
both playing at the same time to begin with. Of course, at some point in the matches they definitely will. I'm not
Yes.
saying no. Remember, like Ferran Torres also was about 50 plus million signing,
Yeah, Ferran Torres,
and
we have to not, we have to give him more
he's
play time
underrated.
actually.
Yeah, he's good, and Ansu Fati has come back. So,
Yeah,
what will they think? So it is a World Cup year again. Remember. So
yes,
for me, Xavi has to be careful about it. I think he might just rotate Dembele and Rafinha. That makes more sense. And maybe on the other flank, he'll rotate maybe Ansu Fati with Ferran Torres. Also, Aubameyang also was your pin-up signing in January. So
yes,
what about him? He has already played one match in preseason where he was playing left wing and where he has some chemistry with Aubameyang because
Aubameyang,
of
yeah,
sorry with
Lewandowski,
Lewandowski. Exactly.
yes.
Dortmund did.
So,
Dortmund did.
but I always preferred, if suppose Ansu Fati is back, okay, and if given the fact our Ferran Torres are one of our star signings in the winter transfer window, so Ferran Torres, if he starts in the left wing, given the fact, so right wing, I would prefer more Rafinha in the first half, given okay, and if Dembele is fit enough, then maybe he should be rotated in the second half because if you see six striker options like proper strikers and who must be given a chance given the fact we have B team players Alex Collado and many other, so if we keep them at a side and if you see three pairs will be there, okay, and on top Lewandowski and if you see Rafinha and Ansu Fati, these three can come up and in the second half we can come up with Ferran Torres, Aubameyang and Dembele because last season these three players played together. So I think they will have a better chemistry in the second half and this season our new signings with Ansu Fati. Ansu Fati is there for scoring goals also because this is the guy if he starts scoring goals he will not stop. He is a very good talent. Only is the fact
I think
people are
purely on talent, Ansu Fati is one of the best in the Barca squad. I'm
yes
not even thinking twice. In terms of talent and skills,
skills.
he is superb. Superb is at level. But the problem is that consistency, obviously, at his
Consistency,
age,
that is the problem.
plus the injury
Yeah,
record,
injury is the
these are
main
two
factor.
issues.
And Zakaria Al Khaldi is saying Silva to Barcelona.
Bernardo Silva, you know what? It has been gaining momentum, and I know that here also to Man City there are a few links
Yes.
coming on with Lucas Paqueta and whatnot. I think they have been linked with a few people now. Honestly, if Man City get rid of Bernardo Silva on the eve of the Premier League starting, that's not done. I don't see
Yeah.
that happening. I'm just being
I also
realistic.
don't see that happening because it is not easy, right? See, the wage also matters, and in La Liga it is so strict with this wage
Correct.
and this everything, and I don't see this happening given the fact if Frenkie de Jong leaves, maybe there is a chance, but it will be a risky thing because after the activation of the third lever, we should not risk this much. I think we have a squad which can compete in the European competitions, so I don't think we must risk because we fans are hyping so much. Laporta's board is
But
hyping.
in entire preseason, if I'm not wrong, Frenkie De Jong played only as a centre back.
Yeah, centre back. Only one match he
So
started as a midfielder in the last
yeah,
match.
so I don't think a midfield really requires a Bernardo Silva. As
Then
in,
only.
definitely he upgrades, but you have like why would you reduce the minutes of Pedri and Gavi?
Pedri and Gavi.
Pedri and
Then only.
Gavi
Like they can switch and they can come out. No, and we have
and
signed Frank
Kessie.
Kessie. And I
Yeah,
don't think
exactly.
Barcelona will never ever they will go without Busquets. Busquets will start in every
Yeah,
match.
he
So
will start.
midfield
Yeah.
is done and dusted. So I don't think why they are always going for like we should not risk no actually.
Unless you kind of okay, if Frenkie De Jong goes, Depay goes, and I heard
Yeah.
even Brathwaite might leave.
Then only
There
Brathwaite
might
if
be
he leaves
some.
then
So those are some things. So I don't know. I still think it'll be difficult. I know
I
there were
also
some
think like
reports about
maybe
Ter
it is
Stegen, but
verbally agreement is there, but I don't think Man City will also give. Pep Guardiola, I don't think he will give. Bernardo Silva is so important in that team, in the midfield.
no, Man City. See, Pep Guardiola will not block it if Bernardo Silva wants it.
Yeah, because in every
That is
transfer
the
which happened, Pep Guardiola said, if the players don't want to stay, I will not say anything.
correct. So he will not block it. But from Bernardo Silva's aspect, I'm thinking, yes, his family is there, I heard, but still, you have won the Premier League. You are basically, you've been in the finals of the Champions League. I know it's Barcelona, the historic club,
Yes.
but still, I would say Bernardo Silva has a good few years in him. Right now, I think it's the best chance for City. Really, I'm being really serious for them to kind of go to the next level in the Champions League.
Yeah.
So right now, being a pillar in the team, you're going to move. That is not done from his end as well. So I would say it's a bit of both, Man City as well as Bernardo Silva. Unless basically Barca are like getting rid of a lot of players and they tempt him with a huge offer, which you're saying right, the salary cap will be an issue again.
Yes. And if you like, if Chelsea signed Cucurella because he was linked with Man City, I don't think Brighton will go, like they have not accepted the bid of Man City. So suppose you sign Cucurella, okay? I think it is almost done only. Like
No, so that is the twist. Brighton are acting cranky, yaar. Matlab, Brighton are asking for more. So it's almost double standard from Brighton,
Yeah.
as per reports. So they quoted 50 million to Man City, but when Chelsea bid 50 million, they are saying no, give us more, which is not fair. So, which is Chelsea tax, as I say
Yeah.
always on my streams, right? So, Chelsea tax is not good, but I think eventually it will come because the fact that he had already put up a transfer request when Man City came
only.
and he has already agreed terms with Chelsea personally. I know same thing Rafinha had done, but here, luckily, we don't have a Barca yet to hijack or a Bayern yet to hijack.
Yeah, so actually in the left back position of Chelsea, Marcos Alonso, like if they go for back three, then it's different. LMF position Marcos Alonso has played, like, but when Chelsea was continuously, I think after Lampard also, when Lampard left, then at the beginning of the season they were playing back four with Chilwell, but Chilwell had an off season last season. He was almost off. So now I think Chilwell has returned. So do you see Chilwell now replacing Cucurella if he signs in most of the matches, or Cucurella will get most of the matches?
See, Chilwell is the number one left back. There's no two ways about it.
Yes.
But you're right. As in, because Chilwell was out with injury, with a long-term injury, it's an ACL, if I'm not wrong, and it's so long. I think maybe we'll bed him in, and that's the best time when we cannot kind of let the as in momentum go. And that's why we need someone who can really replace a Chilwell and be like him. And Cucurella is very similar to Chilwell in most of the aspects. Plus, he also can play left centre back. We were talking about who's
Yeah,
the third
left
centre
centre
back, right? Koulibaly can be a right centre back.
Yes.
Thiago Silva can be a centre
back
back.
three should
Cucurella
be
can be left
against
centre
Dortmund.
back. Yeah, problem solved, but as only as a starter. We don't have backups.
There are backups.
Our backups, Alonso and Emerson, both want to go out.
Yes. Someone in chat is also saying Chilwell is number one, no doubt.
Yeah, 100%. I agree with that comment for sure.
And Dhritiman is asking, what about Carne?
Yeah, Carne Chukwuemeka, he's a good player. He played against Chelsea. I had covered in one of the videos in my stream. And then I think this morning. Yeah, but so, see, the thing is, he is still 19.
Yes.
He's someone in the ilk of Chouameni. I'm not going to say he's anywhere close.
Yeah.
But it's someone like that who can basically defend as well as play with the ball. And he's a good passer. So he is a box to box almost, who is an all-rounder, but is very young, very inexperienced compared to a Chouameni. He's of that kind of nature player. So for me, it was more of an opportunistic signing. I think the fact that Gerrard did not want to kind of keep him in the squad because he was not extending, and Chelsea got to know that Barca also,
They
keeping
were also
tabs.
interested.
Correct. So, and AC Milan also were interested,
Yeah,
I know,
AC Milan also.
because I follow AC Milan very closely. So, I feel that Chelsea has done it because, okay, fine, here's a young prodigy who's available right now. The cost is just 15 million. Why don't we go for it? That is what has happened. And yes, he will be part of the squad, but I don't see him starting many games.
Yeah, someone is saying Ricky Puig and Oscar Mingueza, both at young age, are going. One went to MLS and one is still in the Spanish league. So
Celta Vigo, no?
people are saying that talent has been wasted because
I don't know about talent wasted. Like, I know, like, again, I have kind of watched MLS in person as well.
yeah,
See, MLS, a lot of times we don't rate MLS. I know it's not a right age to go. You can argue that. I myself said
Yes.
on the streams as well about Ricky Puig. But MLS for a midfielder is not bad. MLS for MLS, the kind of action that happens, it's like all action,
And
man.
it is
It's,
not
it's
that he
not
went
like
to a
slow
wrong
at
team.
all.
He went to Los Angeles Galaxy, and it's a good team. They have signed good players.
Yeah, exactly. So they have signed good players, but again, I agree that it's a step down for sure.
Yes.
And maybe it's not the right age. I agree all those things, but again, it's not the end of the world. It is quite good. It's not bad. Like maybe the fact that he wants to basically get some exposure just internationally and be away from home and maybe do that. So maybe it's a win-win. But I think he'll come back to basically as in proper in terms of
Yes.
European football. Right now, it was too early for him to start games at Barca,
Yeah.
right?
Now I don't
So
think any club was also interested on him because I think he has not proved anything. Like he has not displayed his talent.
yeah,
Maybe.
just the talent, just the talent. That's
Yeah.
all.
So if he shines in the MLS, sorry, so maybe a comeback to European football is expected. So yeah, Rupam was saying about Chelsea's Oscar. Oh, actually he was not saying about Oscar Mingueza, Chelsea's Oscar.
Oh, Oscar, yeah,
Yeah.
Chelsea. He is basically in China, right? If I'm not wrong.
Yeah. No,
Correct me if
now
I'm wrong.
maybe he'll come to Flamengo.
Oh, okay, interesting. So now, so yeah, see, that was one of the persons that maybe we lost too early. Yeah, but
Yeah.
you know what,
This is the
Oscar,
another player who, like Barca were interested, Oscar. There were so
yeah, I
many
remember.
rumors,
So,
but
no, the thing is, Oscar is a player. Let me put it that way. Oscar and Hazard and Mata, those three
yeah.
did brilliantly at Chelsea in 2 seasons, right? See, I'll tell you what happened. Oscar is a kind of player who's personally not as driven every game week in week out. He's that kind of a player, like a Hazard.
Yes.
If they want to do, they could have done really well. They could have reached those heights, but they did not want to probably, which is fine. It's a personal choice, and of course, for him, money was more important because he actually adopted a village in Brazil.
Yeah, and it's looking like Hazard, the Chelsea legend, maybe he will play good in this season with Real Madrid. It's looking like
He's
that.
looking fit. He's looking
Yeah,
fit.
being playing as a false nine under Ancelotti.
Yeah, I think he can do well, but time will tell, man. As in, I don't know. I don't
Yeah,
want to say too much before I jinx it, but for me, Hazard is not going to be the whole Hazard. Let's not expect that. But yeah, false nine. I called it even when as in Barca beat Real Madrid in the El Clasico.
yes,
I
yes,
was like, man, they had Hazard for that game if I remember right. They didn't use
yes.
him.
Hazard played good, and one player, okay, in your Armando Broja or something like that, right?
Yeah, Broya is the guy,
Yeah,
the
Broja or
Albanian
something like
striker.
yeah.
You
He
know,
was
he's
linked with
he's
West
very
Ham,
good.
but I
Kamaka
think
is what West Ham has signed. So Chelsea did not accept it because Tuchel sees him as part of the squad.
yeah,
Problem is whether he himself is ready to be that backup striker because he's not going to start. It's going to be
yeah,
Havertz.
surely he will not start.
So he may start when Havertz has those off games. Sudden say
Yeah.
the form goes. He may start a few games.
Yeah,
But I
because
think come on,
Havertz, I
Havertz.
think in the mid-season he will be more concentrated and aligned to the World Cup. Maybe like their mindset will be a World Cup
Yeah,
mindset.
maybe you can
Yeah,
say that.
that
Yeah.
time maybe they will get a chance. And cup matches, it is expected that they will get a chance and they should get a chance in the cup matches because the reserve players should
Oh
get a
yeah,
chance.
he definitely. I think
Yeah.
he's a cup kind of player as well. He has a lot
Yes.
of energy and passion, which helps. He's like a poor man's Diego Costa.
Yeah, and Rubam is saying you can discuss about Renato Sanchez move to PSG. Yeah, surprising move. Suddenly.
Yeah. Is it surprising though? Because I think they were linked earlier as well.
Yeah, linked
The
earlier,
fact
but
that no, but
suddenly
Ghana Gay is leaving. No, Ghana Gay is leaving
Ganage, yeah,
PSG.
that only. So they needed a
So they are,
midfielder.
yeah, they needed
Yeah,
one
they
because
needed a
yes,
midfielder.
Vitinha did brilliantly till now, but again, Vitinha is not that level that you're saying that you're going to
Yeah,
rely on him.
Vitinha, yeah.
Even Sanchez, even Renato Sanchez, we played him against Lille, right? As in last season, Chelsea. Renato Sanchez is that kind of player who's not going to give you week in, week out football, but he turns up for the big matches, or
Yeah,
he's
big
your big
matches.
match player.
Even in the Portugal national team, he played good in some of the matches. He was there in
Yeah,
the
so
midfield.
he's having that weird kind of energy, that helps the team. So I was hoping my second team Milan would have signed him, but unfortunately
Yes,
PSG
Milan were
man.
linked with like a lot of times, Milan. But they have
I was
signed that
hoping,
Uruguay player.
but don't worry, as in we have Benacer. Benacer is not too bad.
Yeah. Now at last coming back to Chelsea's goalkeeping position. So you have signed
Oh,
the Chicago Fire player, the youngster.
yeah,
So
slowly.
he's again given on loan. So what do you have to say about the professionalism of Kepa, given the fact he did not act like Lukaku? He stayed
And
on the
Courtois,
bench.
man.
He stayed on the bench. He like he accepted everything. He stayed on the bench. Like obviously any feelings will come, right? Edward Mendy playing most of the matches. Feelings will come. So I must leave. They are not believing on me.
Yeah, yeah. Especially remember when he actually was dropped when Edward Mendy came in. At that point,
Yeah.
Kepa was the number one keeper for Spain.
Yes,
That is
Spain.
actually reality. Okay, he
Yes.
was the number one keeper for Spain, and then he was dropped, and then obviously his form also wasn't great. Let's be honest.
Yeah.
But at the same time, I have to give credit to the fact that he's been very professional. Yes, maybe he's not happy, but all behind the doors, he's spoken to Tuchel. He's not like coming and giving out statements like to Courtois and Lukaku.
Yes. Yes. Yes.
What I would say rather is that the fact that Kepa is going early is a problem now. Like for me, only I think again it's not confirmed, but he might go to Napoli.
Napoli.
And the
Yes.
fact is, Napoli will just pay 25% of his salary. So I'm wondering why are we getting rid of him? I thought that we need some keeper as a backup at least till December because Mendy's form is kind of dipped. So I wanted someone to compete with Mendy, challenge
Because
Mendy.
Kepa has that energy, in important matches he can come up.
Yeah,
Okay.
Super Cup final. Super
Yeah.
Cup final. You remember Super Cup
Yes,
last
that
season?
only.
He won us the Super Cup. So even in the Club World Cup, I think if I'm not wrong, I remember right, it was the semis, is it? He won us that as well. So he has that knack. But again, also FA Cup final, it was his mistake, you can argue. So again, it's keepers, it's whether your day totally or whether it's not your day totally. I will not go too much deep into it. All I would say is like we needed Kepa to be here till December. So now what we're going to do is we have to hope that Mendy doesn't get injured
Yes.
and
Mendy.
Bettinelli improves our second keeper.
Yeah, Mendy, I think he will try to improve more because he played very good and he won the FIFA's best award as well, then Africa's best award as a best goalkeeper. So he has class. He has class leading his country to the AFCON win as well. So someone is saying Kounde in the right back position.
Yeah, I was thinking that, but you know what? For France, when I've seen him in right back position, I didn't see him with that convincing. I know he can play there. Definitely, he's a great player of the ball. He can play on the ball very, very well. He's very comfortable. And in fact, despite popular opinion, despite his age, despite his height, sorry,
Yeah.
he has a brilliant leap. So I think those kind of things are covered even at right back. But problem is that he's not like a pure right back. Araujo is also not that, but Araujo, the kind of performances he's had at right back last season and this
Yes.
pre-season, I think
This season he was
Araujo,
just.
even the strength element, you have to
Yeah.
play
He
Araujo.
was-
He's like a Branislav Ivanovic.
Yeah, he was fighting with Rudiger, so we can understand what kind of strength he holds.
Yeah. Araujo reminds me of Ivanovic in Chelsea. If you remember Ivanovic,
Yeah.
he started off as a centre back.
Yes.
Okay, then he kind of became a right back and he was a bulldozer at right back.
Yeah.
So that is what Araujo, and even his attitude, the way he is, just his nature, aggression.
Leadership quality is also
Ivanovic-
there. Araujo has the leadership quality. Maybe he might lead Barcelona in
Exactly,
the future.
that's what I'm saying. He is literally Ivanovic part 2 for me. And we were linked very briefly before he extended the contract. I was hoping that we get Araujo as a Chelsea fan. But of course, hats off to him and Barca to have him.
Okay, so given the fact after some days Premier League will start, so what do you think at the beginning of the season will Chelsea keep a good hold in the top 4 position?
I don't think it's going to be easy. It's going to be very
Yes.
difficult in my opinion. It's pretty obvious, well documented. See, again, for me, Liverpool City have that extra bit of quality, extra
Yeah,
bit
yeah.
of confidence, consistency, stability. Problem is that Spurs have done so many signings. Whether
Spurs
all
and
the signings can
Arsenal,
come
they
together.
are just they are doing some good signings.
No, but that's my point. My point is like if you make signings, fine, but they have made too many signings in my opinion. So
Yes.
can Conte kind of manage that? Tuchel has not got too many signings, but he's got a very big squad as it is, and
Yes.
uncertainty. His role is also not
Given
very
the
certain.
fact
because of
Arsenal have
future.
a very young squad, and I don't
That's what I'm
think
coming to.
playing the
I'm
whole
coming to that
season
only, bro.
will just work
So
with
see,
that young
Arsenal.
squad.
Exactly. So Arsenal are, if you actually see among the three clubs, Arsenal is the most stable.
Yes.
Right? But problem is what has happened off the field with Thomas Partey, and that is shameful if it's true. If that has happened, Arsenal might miss that midfielder. So it's really
Yeah.
neck to neck between the three London clubs.
People are also saying that like Gabriel Jesus might win the Golden Boot of Premier League. Like the performance he has given in the preseason.
Yeah.
But I think Premier League is always unpredictable. So it is not easy to play in the Premier League, and suddenly he has changed the club. It is not that it's Man City. So it's a new club, and it will be more competitive than before. I think so.
I think he'll do well.
Yeah, he will do well.
I feel he'll do well. But again, calling him that player who will be the Golden Boot is too far fetched.
Too
I
far,
don't think so.
definitely. And given the fact he will be the main person responsible in the centre forward position. Anyways, Nketiah is there, a youngster, but he is the main man, right, in the centre forward position. So lot of pressure on this man, moving from Man City to Arsenal. And
Yeah, he's never scored more than 14 goals in a season, I believe.
yes,
So
not more than that.
this time he'll get it, in my opinion. But again, you're right. As in the fact that do they have enough depth? I don't think so. Even
Yeah.
Nketiah and Martinelli can play there, but I don't think they are that quality.
But I think one player that Arsenal have signed very good, that is Zinchenko. I think so. In the left back position, Zinchenko is doing some good
You think so? I disagree, bro. I disagree. He is a brilliant bowler. You know what? People mistake it. Like, that's the difference in the Premier League. You can be a bowler. I'm not saying he's a bad footballer. He's a
Yeah.
brilliant footballer. But for me, one of the reasons why Man City let him go. Think about it. Why would Man City let Zinchenko leave? They are anyway. They were interested in Cucurella, but they're letting Zinchenko
Yes,
leave
yes.
because defensively he's not as sound.
Defensively, then only.
That is the problem. Arsenal right now, yes, they have a Tierney at left back, but
Yeah.
Zinchenko probably will play more games because Tierney is having horrible issues with the injury.
But the physique
Right?
that João Cancelo and Kyle Walker hold, I don't think it is comparable to Zinchenko. And the defensive capabilities, even Cancelo is having. And
Yeah, but at some point, if you have to question that, right? The fact that they are open to Cucurella and selling Zinchenko,
yeah,
for me it was questionable. Not just Arsenal, like generally just watching football. He's a baller. He plays
Yes.
really well. I'm not saying, but his ideal position for me is that basically midfield role.
yeah,
That is his
where he
ideal
plays
position.
in the Ukraine national team, right?
I'll tell you, left central defensive midfielder is what his position
Yes.
should be. He's not like a typical winger. He's not like a typical left back. He's a very good player, but let's see. Maybe now that Partey is not going to be there, looks like, or beginning part of the season, maybe he'll play, and maybe Tierney is fit. He'll play as a left back. Let's see. That'll be good for Arsenal.
There was one moment you were linked with Nathan Ake. So could Nathan Ake be a good addition at Chelsea if he would have the transfer would have happened?
And I think that story is gone, bro. I don't think he's coming because
Yeah,
remember, Man City not only want a left back, they want to keep Nathan Ake right now,
Nathan
and
Ake.
55
Because
million
Pep
is what they
Guardiola has
wanted.
tried Nathan Ake in the left back position as well in some of the matches.
I think, you know what? I would have taken Nathan Ake. Even if I'm being honest, I would have actually taken him. In fact, I have gone on record saying that for me, Nathan Ake was a preference over Kounde because for this season we needed experience in the Premier League, and that Nathan Ake brings you. But his price was too much. 55 million for Nathan Ake, no one's going to pay. So
Yes.
we as in, come on. When we are getting as in someone like maybe a Fofana who's less 21
Yeah,
at
Fofana.
75 million, we would rather go for him than a Nathan Ake.
Obviously, anyone would go for him. No one would go for Nathan Ake.
Yeah, because that ceiling is there. Like a Kounde, for example, like Barca has bought, right? Because that ceiling is that they can still improve.
Yeah, there is time for improvement, but Nathan Ake, I think he has played a lot of seasons with Man City, and I don't think a transfer now would be a smarter move. Maybe.
No, as in from his perspective, it would have not been bad, to be honest, because he knows Chelsea. He was captain of our academy for a
Yes,
season.
that only.
So he knows Chelsea. He won the Europa League with us. And it was Benitez who actually promoted him and got him to that level. Then he became prominent. But problem is right now that Man City want him more.
Yeah. But now, if I say you, Manchester is blue for last two and more seasons. But what
my
about the
God.
Reds? What the Reds will do this season?
No, Manchester United are definitely transition season, just like Chelsea, man. In my
Yes.
opinion, they're going to
Same
take
as
time.
Barcelona.
Yes, but Barca, the difference was the madness amount of signings that they made were actually class signings. Manchester United have also made good signings. I'm not saying no.
Yeah.
Ericsson will be a brilliant signing for
They have
them.
got rid
But
of Alex Telles as well to Sevilla.
yeah, that has happened true. But I would say that level of experience in the Premier League of the manager not being there might, as in
Yes.
be their Achilles heel. But let's see. They're playing good football again, which is good for Manchester United fans. So I think it's a transition season. I am rating them at maybe just missing out on top four again. I
Yeah,
feel.
top four. I think they will miss out. Top four because I
Yeah.
don't think it will be easier for them to compete with Chelsea, Arsenal, Tottenham, and Man City, Liverpool. It will not be very
It'll
easy.
be close. It'll be
They'll
close.
be
But I
close.
think you're right.
Yes.
Yeah.
And even West Ham, I think they will give a good competition. West Ham are the team who are always fighting that fifth, sixth, and seventh position. They are
Yeah,
just
they've
altering over
signed
there only.
Skamaka, and if they sign Kostic, the next level.
Yeah,
But
if they sign
right
Kostic
now,
as well. Skamaka
they
they
have
have signed.
conference league. Yeah, exactly. They have conference league, so that might be a little bit of hindrance. So I have predicted again West Ham to be at number 7 itself again.
Yes. So I think we have come to the end. So thanks a lot, Ankit Bhai, for joining. It was a great time we have spent together here. So we hope
Definitely
in
my
the future
pleasure.
we'll do a lot of things together because football, the new season is coming, even the World Cup is coming. So many things to discuss in the future.
Yeah, it's a crazy
So
season for sure.
yeah, thanks a lot who have joined as well, who have subscribed the channel and who are following Ankit Bhai channel as well. So do go and follow him as well. And do subscribe to our channel as well. Like the video, like the stream, everything. Do watch our videos. And if you like
Yes,
our
people,
content, do
please
support.
do.
Yes. So thank you. Thanks
Just
a
like
lot,
the
Ankit Bhai.
stream.
So good
Again,
night.
my pleasure, and of
Yeah.
course, we'll discuss more based on the time in the season. But again, people don't forget to like, share, subscribe.
Yeah, that only.
Brilliant conversation. Of course, you'll see a lot more content on both our channels.
Yeah. So thanks a lot and goodbye everyone. Have a great time ahead tomorrow. Yeah. So bye
Come
bye.
on, Chelsea,
Yes.
let's do
Iskal
something.
Barca. Okay, bye bye.
Stop the time, cause I wanna freeze this moment. Make it mine, hold you close. Now my heart's wide open. When I'm with you, suddenly I feel no pain. Can you make it go away? Can you make it? Stop the time, cause I wanna freeze this moment. Make it mine, hold you close. Now my heart's wide open. When I'm with you, suddenly I feel no pain. Can you make it go away? Can you make it? Can you make it go away? Can you make it? Can you make it go away? Can you make it? Can you make it go away? Can you make it? Can you make it go away?